Welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm Ellis Nordoff, and today I'm back with the opposition view, the final opposition view of the season. It's Arsenal versus Everton, and I'm joined by Lee Judges. How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, all good. Thank you very much. Not too bad. Not too bad.
So it's Sunday, it's 4 o'clock at the Emirates, hopefully a sunny day at the Emirates. And I suppose the game means a lot more to one team than it does to the other. Everton, safe now in the Premier League, going into this game with not much to play for, but Arsenal still have that glimmer of hope to try and win the Premier League title. Have you got hope, or is all the hope diminished now?
Nah, well, there's always a slight, but in my mind, I made peace with it. I'm looking forward to next season already. Like because I think we've had a great season. We really pushed them all the way. But listen, I don't think it'll be a foregone conclusion if we was in front against Everton because of the pressure and everything like that. But for the first time on Sunday, I'm going to go to a game, just enjoy it for what it is. Pressure's off a little bit. And as much as you want to be in these title races, you enjoy them. Actually, once the game's finished, actually, 90, you don't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy
Yeah.
Man United last week. I didn't enjoy Tottenham a couple of weeks ago. So this one, I'm just gonna, unless you're two or three nil up, then you can enjoy the game when you're at home. So I'm just gonna go there and enjoy it. By the time I took my seat, I reckon City will be 1-0 up and it'll be all over anyway. That way. So just go there and enjoy the game.
Well, you've absolutely pushed them to the limit, haven't you? And I think we've
Yeah,
seen an Arsenal side that's just developed and got stronger this year, haven't they? Obviously, last year it all fell apart a bit. I think it might have been a bit of naivety and experience, but this team look a completely different side. So well drilled, so organised, and a real tough nut to crack for anyone. And since you've gone out the Champions League last few weeks, you've looked really resilient. You've had some massive results. Obviously, the
yeah.
big test against Tottenham, big test against Man United. You delivered on both of them, and you really are going to push them all the way. But it's just Man City are just a different animal, aren't they?
They are completely different to anything that I've been going football for many years and experienced title wins and title losses, and I've never experienced a team that continues when it matters to win. Even like the great Man United team, the Liverpool team slips up every now and then, but this team just seems to, when it matters, when the pressure's on, they just seem to go up a level, and you have to admire that. Because they don't see, being in the title race and being in it last season and this season, the pressure's there, and you can see, I think the pressure perhaps got to us against Aston Villa, where it hasn't for them. And, and the one thing I take from what you just said there was we are a well drilled, well coached side now. You can see that. You can really see that every single player is good, but they know exactly what they've got to do in the team ethic and the structure of how we play. And and we are a very, for me personally, I just enjoy watching us play at the moment. And there were seasons when you was glad it was over, and then there was summers when you was wishing the summer would be another extra week because you think, oh, no, football's coming. But I honestly, so I can't wait for the season to finish to start again. If you know what I mean, I'm really really looking forward to pre-season and getting back and going again. And I think if I feel like that, hopefully the players feel like that as well.
That's the way it's got to be, hasn't it? I suppose you're building a bit of a project here, and when Pep
Mm,
Guardiola leaves, you hope that your team can then take the stage and be the best team because it's a young side as well. There's a lot of developing still to do too, and if you've pushed them this season, but maybe you'll improve again next year, and you never know what can happen in the Premier League. And if you're seeing a team that you now believe in, a manager that you believe in as well, he seems to be just getting everything to the finest of details. You think of him with his club dog, with the tree that he's planted, with the I think he's got like win by set pieces on the wall and all this kind of intricate stuff. Do you really believe Arteta's the one that will bring you that first title in years now?
yeah, I do, and the reason was because what I'm seeing now over the last couple of years. You said to me 4 or 5 years ago, even when Arteta first took over, do you think that you'll challenge for a title or win a title? I would say no. I don't, we're nowhere near. But he's given me my belief back that we can win the league. I've gone through the last sort of 10 years thinking Arsenal, especially when Chelsea are about and Manchester City now, well, we're never going to be able to compete with them, never going to be able to compete with them. I think, dare I say it on an Everton channel that Everton won't like this, but Liverpool sort of set a trend that you haven't got to be have all this amount of money. You've just got to have good players, good coaching, good business sense, and it can happen. And I think that Arsenal have gone down that route as well, overtaking Liverpool. Let's get that out there now, like,
Uh,
and
Good to say that on
and
this channel.
yeah, yeah, and we're now pushing them. I would loved it if our Arsenal would have won it this season, not for our own thing, but for Arteta as well, that he won it with Pep and Klopp there. Like, like if he wins it next year, people might say, "Oh well, Klopp weren't there," but we've overtaken Liverpool now. Like, if we was to win it when Pep's gone, there'll always be, "Oh well, Pep's gone there." So I'd like to do it while he's there, rub it in him to him a little bit. But it's very, very difficult, and we don't know what's going to happen with Manchester City in the next few years anyway. Like, so uh, yeah, we're look, Mikel Arteta. I do think is the one, and you know what? He deserves the opportunity to be the one. That's how I see it now. Like, I know there's people going, "Oh, is he not going to take us over the over the finishing line?" But we haven't been near the finishing line for so long. So, like, for me, give him the opportunity, and I hope he does it.
So with this game, then, do you think it's a foregone conclusion? Are you looking at this thinking, well, Arsenal have already won it? Because I can just imagine now, 2 years ago, I was sat in the away end at the Emirates and we just got safe against Crystal Palace on the Thursday prior. All the Blues will remember that. And we turned up to Arsenal, nothing to play for. We got beat 5-1, but Evertonians were singing every time you scored. A new chorus of Spirit of the Blues started. And Evertonians will probably go down to London in that similar party mood. I know I'll be there, ready to just enjoy the day out. And we don't know how our team's going to play. I hope that they can put in a performance to just show, just to kind of thank the fans for the season because we've been through a lot. But how do you see this game going? Is it just going to be the usual Everton versus Arsenal at the Emirates where you batter us every year?
Well, I remember that game very well. Like, and look, listen, I've got a soft affection for Everton, as you know, but like the fans were fantastic that day. But uh, listen, if Liverpool, if Man City are winning 1-2-0, I think that it's a foregone conclusion. But I do think that if things, do you know what? Say if Spurs would have got an equaliser and it would have gone to the last game, I think this game would be massively different. I think that we could actually slip up against Everton because Everton would have, as you said, were not on the beach but relaxed and everything like that, and there would have been, I think, a lot of pressure on Arsenal. I do believe now. I think that because I think the slight pressure off, I think Arsenal will win. But if, for instance, there is something madness going on at Man City, I do think that this game then could be not a foregone conclusion. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because of the
Yeah,
pressure
yeah.
and all that, listen, I'll bite your hand off for a 2-0 win and a 2-0 defeat for Man City, but I don't see it happening. I think it'd be a good game. Um, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it could be an interesting game if things are going that way. Because from our point of view, if things are happening in over there, and then you start thinking, "Oh, this could happen." I've never been in this situation for a very, very long while. We was in it again in '99, but Tottenham were never going to beat Man United that day. You know what I mean? And I feel it's a very, very similar situation with West Ham. So, um, but I think it'd be a good game. I think, like as you say, Everton have got. I think um, Sean Dyche and you guys have got to be applauded for what you've done this season because I think that you have been stitched up. Maybe not in the sense of you broke the rules and you've got to be punished for it, like, but you're seeing other teams not get punished and things like that. That must be a little bit annoying. Like that, it seems like it's a desperation to try and get Everton relegated this season. And I think even next season things could happen again before we know what we're talking about. But I think that you handled that really, really well. And the key is with Everton at the moment. I know where you're down there. You're not really. If you take the points on there, you're a
Be on
decent
48
side.
points, would be 11th.
Yeah, yeah, you're a decent side, So you look at we know when they turn around and say to you, "Well, the league table never lies." Well, it does lie. It
Does
does
this
lie.
year.
It does this year, like, you know what I mean. So, and I believe with Arsenal as well that even though we're not going to win it, I still think we've been the best team this year. But as they say, the league table doesn't lie, but this year it does.
Yeah, we'll go with that definitely. I think Everton fans can see this year as a year that we can never truly judge how it would have been in a normal season, but progress
Yeah.
has been made in terms of points. That's just factual. And to have 2 points deductions, a protracted takeover as well, all of this
Mm.
must just impact the players somehow. And obviously, it's been really difficult for the fans as well. So I just hope the players can go and deliver something on Sunday that the fans deserve, because we really have been through it this year. And we just want a bit of stability now. We want to make sure that we go into that new ground okay in the Premier League, stable and looking to build further. And this game, I think on paper, we can actually frustrate you guys. We can make it hard as long as yous aren't completely on it and we're a bit off the pace. If we perform like we have done in London this year, which we've done pretty well at away games in London, so
Mm.
we could maybe just frustrate you a bit, but it's all about not letting Arsenal get the first goal. I think if you get a goal early, like you said, if you go a couple of goals up and you can relax, then it'll be more like one of those days at the Emirates that we're so used to now. Because every
Yeah.
time I go there, we get battered, to be honest, mate.
Yeah, well, listen, I get it. We're a good side, and listen, Everton are on a good little run themselves. If you look at it over the last, I think only one defeat in five or something like that. And of course, you did stop Liverpool winning the league. You know what I mean? So
We did.
on a day where I have to say I watched that game, I actually sat down and watched that game thinking you might get a draw. And even at 1-0, I still felt Liverpool might still get something from it. But second, as it happens, it was fantastic the whole 90 minutes on that game. So if Everton turn up, they're a difficult opponent. There's no two ways about it. They've got a. I don't know how Evertonians feel about the manager, Sean Dyche, and maybe like it could be a little bit more this and a little bit more that. But from an outside looking in, I've got nothing but admiration for what he does and how he gets teams going and to do that tactical masterclass against Liverpool. We've got to be wary that he can do that at the Emirates. So and he's got it in his locker. Don't get me wrong, he's got it in his locker. He's caused Arsenal problems before when he was at Burnley. So yeah, I've got a big admiration for him. And I think that Everton have done fantastically well this season with all what's gone on around them. Fantastically well, and probably got a little bit hanging over you for next season. Then you got is it the last season at Goodison
Next
next season
season,
as
yeah,
well? Isn't it?
it is.
So listen, we've been there. Enjoy it. I will say to you guys now, just every home game, just enjoy it
Yeah.
because it'll never be the same. It will never
Tell us about
ever.
that. Please tell us about that because, of course, you've experienced that move from
Mm.
Highbury to the Emirates. What's it like, and what is the last year like, and then what are the first few years like? Because I know Arsenal struggled for a bit, didn't they?
Yeah, look, I'll be really honest with you. I don't know how you guys feel about it and how you feel about it, but I guarantee you're all looking forward to going into the new stadium, like, you know what I mean, and thinking,
Definitely, yeah, yeah,
to go, really looking forward to it. So that last year, and that's why I urge you to enjoy it a bit more. I was sort of thinking, I can't wait to get to the Emirates, can't wait to get to the Emirates, and then when we was in the Emirates 2-3 years, you realise what you missed, and not only what you miss is the one thing that I get from it now is like um, I go back to my childhood and things like that. It's not there no more because it's the ground's gone. Like when you go to Everton, you'll look back and go, I can remember when I went there with my dad, my granddad, whatever. Like that it gets taken away from you, and in a silly way, it gets taken away from you, like and you just got your memories. But and that's what like you console yourself that you've got to get a bigger ground and with Everton we know that it's I love Everton's ground but it is run down now to the as you know but it's got that unique atmosphere and that unique thing that you can't take to the new ground if you know what I'm saying so but I say like for me now if I go back instead of wishing those Highbury games over I would have enjoy them a little bit. I remember going to, and I will do it at Goodison next year as well. That West Ham when the last game against West Ham was annoying because we'd come back 3-3. It was a 3-3 game. I sort of waited to the end and just had a little look round. I wish I'd have done that a little bit more at Highbury. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
you know. 2 or 3 games before the last game. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the last time that I went there, I should have just stayed in there and sat in there for a little while. So I do that and just think of the great things that made you think that made you support Everton or made you support Arsenal. One of the main reasons and I always say this when I was younger, my granddad and my mum's side were Spurs fans, and my dad's side were Arsenal. If there was two things that really pushed me toward, because there weren't much between the teams at that time, was the red and white shirt and Hybrid. Hybrid didn't have the pylon floodlights, and it was, I went to White Hart Lane. It was a bit dark and dingy, where it was all bright and shiny at Arsenal. So Hybrid was a big part of why I supported Arsenal. So even though I wanted it taken away, I wish it hadn't been taken away now. So yeah. So
And
enjoy it while you can.
there's so many memories attached to football stadiums, isn't there?
Mm.
We've been there since childhood, really. I don't know what I'm going to be like the moment we leave Goodison, because I've been a season ticket holder for 16 years now, pretty much like since I was 5. So, I've been there, I've had all the memories. We've not
Yeah,
had as much successful times as I'd have wanted, but I just hope that the new stadium can be a start of a new era for Everton. We've seen it on the banks of the Royal Blue Mersey. It looks amazing. And other fans are starting to notice as well that this ground is purpose built as well. This ground is getting built for football fans, for football matches, and is going to hopefully retain some of the atmosphere that Goodison has. And I can't wait for it personally. And I'm sure you're looking forward to
yeah.
your first visit there and your last visit to Goodison.
Say again.
I'm sure you're looking forward to your first visit there and your last visit to Goodison.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Like, I'm really looking forward to my last visit and my first visit there. Of course, you know what I mean. It is and what you're saying is exactly how I feel. I can't wait to get there and everything like that. It is an exciting time because it is a new era for Everton. I don't care what anybody says. Once you move stadium, it is a new. You know, it's a different Arsenal now to what it was at Highbury. It'd be a different Everton to what it was like at Goodison Park Everton, and it'd be the new, like the new Everton, how far away is it from the ground? Like, so
Not too far. So this is more in the city centre. It's on the docks by where all the historic docks are in Liverpool. So it's the current ground is in Walton. Goodison's in
yeah,
Walton, and then it's a bit further along. It's maybe I'd imagine maybe 10-15 minute drive or something, but it's much more in the city. It's going to be on the skyline. It's going to
yeah.
be something that really stands out, and it's going to be fantastic for the city of Liverpool as well, the jobs and everything that brings. So we're hoping that there's brighter times coming up for Everton.
Yeah, the only thing that I would, I've been fortunate with Arsenal is we only moved just around a corner, so everything, the pubs, everything that we're still is still there. Do you know what I mean? The old supporters club and all that. Maybe you're going to lose a little bit of that with Everton, like, you know what I mean? The old pubs around,
Local businesses and stuff. Yeah,
yeah.
that's
And what's the local? I can't think of the name of it.
you got
Opposite
the Winslow, the
the
Spello. There's
Windsor, like,
loads.
you know what I
The
mean?
Royal
So
Oak. I can't even name
the
them all.
Win.
There's that many around there.
Yeah, I know, but like, I've been in the Windsor because obviously, like with Kevin, like he took us in there after the game. So
Super Kevin Campbell.
yeah, like, he's not well at the moment. So wishing him well at this moment in time. But yeah,
Definitely.
we've been in the Windsor a couple of times, and I tell you what, for an Arsenal fan to walk in there on a match day, I get away with it because I'm with Kevin. That's the only thing I can say. But
Yeah,
they've
yeah.
always been fantastically friendly in there. But I don't think they would have been if it weren't any other way. But yeah, so I think you miss those things, but hopefully you still get that atmosphere. That it is a fun. I think it's a special atmosphere at Everton, like So I always love the Z Cars music as you boys come out, and yeah, so some good memories of Goodison Park for myself personally.
Definitely, mate. Let's have a prediction for this game now. So it doesn't matter too much to Everton fans. So we might be on your side a bit here, but I'll let you go first. Are Arsenal gonna do their job and then wait for what happens at Man City?
Yeah, let's go. Good and say like we're going to do the job, but Everton will be happy for us as well, like because uh, who likes Man City? I don't really think that anybody does. For what for we know what for, like So I'm gonna go 3-1. Three. I think Everton might get one. Causes a few problems at times. Everton do with the way that they play. So I'm gonna go 3-1. But I don't think if things do change, it could be a completely different bloody game, and it could be like 1-0 to the Arsenal, like 93rd minute goal or something like that. Jordan Pickford like letting it slip through his hands, and we'll ever be grateful of him.
It's funny how much this game hinges on what happens at City because you could just imagine the tangible
Yeah.
feeling of pressure and tension if City go behind and suddenly there is hope. Suddenly there's more pressure for you guys too then. That's where I think we would that's
Yes.
how we would win it, I think. If City go behind, I think we might nick it 1-0 then and it'd be an awfully typical thing for you guys, wouldn't it, if you went and lost
It
the title after City got beat?
it wouldn't be it wouldn't surprise me because as you quite rightly say, the pressure will. I think when you get in there, and I love to talk to you after the game if we can. Like you'll probably see it be a relaxed atmosphere and all that. Like, and then if it does come that way, you will see the tension you physically because you'll be aware of it change in that stadium. Imagine if it goes 2-0 to West Ham. The chances are that they may only get a draw then. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah.
um, and that ain't going to be enough for them. So we then, 0-0. The pressure would mount and mount and mount. So look, I'd love it to be like that scenario where we're under the pressure and if we wasn't to beat you it'd be really down to us. It'd be down to nobody else. Yeah, it's going to be a really funny atmosphere and thing if it does happen that and I know in a silly way if it did happen, Everton would have more chance of winning than if it's not. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see.
I think Evertonians will wish you the best, of course, with Mikel Arteta as well at the helm. A
Yeah, of
player that
course, of
Everton
course.
have loved for years. You know, he was one of my heroes when I was younger, and to see him
Yeah,
managing now and Arsenal in general, the atmosphere at the Emirates now is very different, and the
brilliant.
fans
Yeah,
now have
brilliant.
really come together. Obviously, the clock ends bouncing a lot of the time, and the whole place just seems a better atmosphere now than it's been for years. So we all wish you the best anyway. But
Thank you very
before
much.
we
Sorry.
finish today, mate, I've got a random question for you. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
final random question of the final opposition view. It is, we will give you a ticket for any music artist, dead or alive. Who's it going to be? Who are you going to see?
Do you know what? I'd have to say Elvis Presley. I'd have to say
Why is that,
Elvis
mate?
Presley.
Why is that?
I just liked his music when I growing up, mum and dad used to like him and everything like that, and a showman, wasn't he? I would probably have said U2, but I've seen U2, so it's my favourite sort of band of all time. But yeah, I think he never come over to England neither. So yeah,
No,
you'd have to send me to America to watch him right now. So
it's a great
yeah,
choice, mate. That
I
is.
think yeah, I think Elvis Presley. Yeah.
Well, mate, thanks so much for coming on today, Lee.
No, no problems. And listen, have a lovely summer and good luck in the summer for Everton. And we'll see you next year, whatever happens, which is good.
Definitely, mate. Hopefully, if it's not a league title for you this year, it can be one next year. But thank you very much for coming on. And thanks everyone for watching all the opposition views this year. That wraps it up for a season. We'll be back next season, of course. We do hope you've enjoyed. Let us know in the comments who would you see live and also what you think the score prediction for this. So let us know. But that's all for now. See you in a bit.